Hello everybody, good day to you and welcome back. Over there across the parking lot, it's a 2013 Chevrolet Express 3500 base model van. Customer states that it overheats or has some kind of message on the dash saying it's running hot. I don't know yet, we're gonna figure it out. I'm guessing it's got a coolant leak. So let's see what's going on with this thing. Get in there, floor mat. Gotta protect the rubber floors from my feet. Or protect my feet from the floors. Mileage, what do we get? Service airbag, check engine soon, tire pressure monitor system warning. All right, we got all the goodies. Check engine light, 0% oil life. 199,774 miles on the odometer. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but it's almost 200K. Now, seeing as how we have an overheating concern, we're not gonna drive anywhere except right on over to my service stall, because I don't want to potentially run an engine with no coolant in it for any period of time. That would be bad. All right, what's the deal in here? What do we got? Well, there's some coolant. Interesting. But just because there's something in this bottle does not mean that there's nothing in this bottle or radiator. Wow, that's tight. Unclick. We're gurgling now. Yeah, there was nothing in there. All right, time for lumens. And yeah, there's nothing in there. That's pretty empty. Okay. All right, slight change of plans. I'm backing this out. It has no coolant in it. And my work order says do cooling system pressure test. Well, I can't pressure test nothing. So we're gonna go over to the garden hose so I can fill this up, and then we will make a determination if it has some kind of a leak or not. Well, I know it's got a leak. That stuff went somewhere, but I don't know where it went. To the garden hose station. We're riding Ace Ventura style. Yeah, right about here is probably good. Now I need to make sure I don't spill my water, because I would like to not contaminate my surface with spillages, because that'll make it hard to find the leak. Let's see here, garden hose. Let's go ahead and put this in the off position. Begin water charge now. There we go.
Now everybody just relax. I know this is garden hose water. I can take this out later. This is for testing purposes only.
So far, so good. It seems I've already found one leak right here at this little T-fitting. This is a coolant line, that's a coolant line, and this is like a T-fitting that runs coolant back into the cargo area, because there's some kind of like a water pump back there. This is like a cleaning van of some sort, so they use coolant to cool the pumps in the back of the vehicle. So I'm sure that there's a large system capacity here, and it may take some time to purge the air out. I do see a new lower radiator hose down there. That's good. Looks like a newish kind of water pump. Also good. Well, that doesn't mean it's good, it just means it's newish. Okay, let's go into the shop and let's look around for some leaks. There's got to be something going on here. Other than that, that's a very, very small leak, if in fact it is a leak. You can see the runs right here where it drips, but I don't think that all the coolant went through that. That would be weird. It's possible, but I don't know. Long range doo-doo-doos. All right, we're down below under the van, and I found a clue. There's some coolant right there. And if you look up, let me get out of here. You look up. There's coolant right there dripping off of that hose or that wiring harness. Tells me it's coming from up top somewhere. Let's get out of here, because it's about 700 degrees under here. Let's get out and look up top for a leak. Come here, flashlight. Yeah, that wasn't much, but I was sitting here staring at it and I saw the drip. Looky here, I also see a lot of saturation action on this radiator. Right there where those little fins start. Okay, let's go in there and give that a decent wipe. And we'll watch it and see if any fluid comes out. I think that's just oil from this trans line though, which is a leak, but I don't know if that is the leak. That's hot. It's too hot to touch. Ouch! Alright. Ah, now looky here. That's not coolant leaking out of that radiator. That is transmission fluid. Because I can see the trans fluid right there dripping out of the bottom of the core support. So we got a trans fluid leak, and there's a coolant leak somewhere, which I still haven't found. Okay, let's check our trans fluid level. I just wiped down the stick, pour back out, and what do we got here? It's a long shaft. Trans fluid is at the bottom of the marks, right there. So that's a little low, nothing terrible. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, there's this pump device thing in here, and the pump is cooled with engine coolant, which runs through the doghouse and into the pump assembly. So let's see if we can't get a hold of those cooling lines back here. Wow, that's a lot going on. I don't see any coolant up here. Let's move the seat and go in from the front. Oh, what do we got here? Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Look at that. Let's see, what is this? It's leaking right here. No, that's the one leaking. Look, see that? So what are these lines for? An old pump, a new pump. They run that way and back under the seat. Let's see, they go into the doghouse right here. What's in this thing? It's like we're going cave exploring. Oh, bright lights. Sorry, gonna edit that out. Let's see what we get in there. Yeah, there's our pump. Those lines are, it might be the drain lines for the pump or something. What is that?
Those are oil drain and fill lines for the pump.
I don't comprende. Right. So whatever those are for, they're leaking. All right, let me out here. It's hot. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's not right. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull all this stuff out of here, get a good view of the engine, and I'm just gonna keep digging into it until I find what I'm looking for, or I don't find what I'm looking for. But I did find that little leak right there. Oh look, and it's wet today, so you can see that's leaking. I might not have to go very far at all. That's good. Because I don't really want to pull that doghouse and stuff apart. It's not really ideal to me. Now that little tube there isn't tight, so that makes my life a little easier. All right, I want to get this tube out of here next, and if we look way down yonder, we can see the little screw for the clamp. I'll have to work on that for a while. It's kind of a tight squeeze in there. It's not very tight, that's good. Come here. Oh, got a little connection over here. That's a PCV. Fun fact, if you leave that off, it's very easy to forget. And if you do, it'll come back with a P0171 lean code. Here, let's take the radiator shroud off and just kind of lean it back some so I can get a view of the top of the radiator. Or at least on the front side of it. And maybe it's leaking up high and just dripping down. Like I'm afraid we're looking for a slow leak here, or a combination of several slow leaks. Now we already found that the radiator does have a leak at the transmission cooler area where that pipe comes into it, but I didn't see any coolant around that spot. All right, I don't think that there's anything on this radiator other than that transmission line that we saw that's leaking. So I'm gonna stop looking for coolant here. We'll go in a little bit deeper. I'm kind of already gonna suggest a radiator, but that's not gonna solve their immediate problem, or the one that they are asking about. And the rule is you've got to solve their first problem first before you solve their second problem second. Or maybe the rule is you don't solve their second problem first before solving their first problem second. I don't know. Rambling. You guys know what I'm talking about. Words. Yeah. Wait, I know. You can't solve the first problem until you create the second problem. That's what it is. That's totally it. And if it's not, it is now. Just put that on a t-shirt. Come here. Anyway, I'm gonna pull the shroud out of here. There's 6 more bolts holding it in, 3 on each side, hence the super extra long wobbly action. It's like triple wobbly and a half of a flashlight gravity. How about that? Haven't had one of those in a while. No gravity for me. All right, 3 more on that side. So real quick, I'm seeing more coolant coming out of this little hose right here. I pumped up the pressure tester again and got this little drop right there. See that one? So we're getting somewhere with this thing. I don't really know where that is, but I know we're getting there. Stop. I'll add wobbly action. This thing's been apart like a billion times. Oh, that one's missing a bolt. Okay. Correction, there's 5 bolts to hold this in. 2 on this side, 3 on the other side. Here, let's get rid of this little wire right here. Put that off to the side. More gravity. Whoa, it's a good one. Oh, you're gonna come out. Yes, you are. Now here's how we're gonna do this. We'll pull these this fill tube out. That's too much in the way. Now we're gonna get somewhere. Haha. Victory is near. Comes. Super duper tight squeeze. This is worse than normal. There we go. A little bit at a time. Got it. Alrighty. Here's what we got, and here's what we don't got here. We've got this leak right here at this little gravity, at this T-junction thing right here at that hose. There's a leak. There's probably some kind of buildup or corrosion or something in there, or the hose is just, it's just leaking. I already checked that fitting. That thing was pretty tight. Any tighter, I'm gonna make it strip. So I'm gonna recommend that I replace the upper hose, which will come as this one single hose, and then I'll have to cut it to splice this thing in. And I'm gonna suggest that we replace this radiator because of this trans fluid leak right here. I have followed this line, which is aftermarket for the pump in the back, and this line all the way back into the cabin. I pulled up the doghouse, went through the doghouse. The lines come in, yeah, they come in right there. I followed them all the way through. Let me pull this up real quick. There's one. Hang on, we gotta do some climbing. I can't get back in there again. Hoorah. Let's see. Let's pick this guy up. Yeah, there's the goods. There we go. So I followed the lines in. They come in right here. They run down and back and under this little deal right here. And they connect right here and here. And I see no leaks anywhere in this vicinity. That's the heat transfer device. This is like a heated pressure washer unit or something like that. So there's no leaks in the cabin other than those oil leaks or whatever coming out of that pump. So I'm gonna stick with the radiator. I'm gonna recommend that upper hose, probably the lower hose too, because that lower radiator hose is covered in trans fluid and that's just not good. And I think I'd like to toss the thermostat in it too, just to make sure it doesn't just overheat and boil over. I'm gonna be right there anyway, so I figure 2 bolts, I can zip the thing off, throw a new one in, and we're good to go. So I'm gonna go make these recommendations and see what's gonna happen next. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. It's gonna be a good video. All right, everybody, we got the green light to proceed with making this repair. So what we're gonna do first here is pull all these hoses and everything out or off, get everything removed, and then we'll pull the radiator out. We're gonna do a set of hoses, upper and lower. We're gonna do the radiator, and I'm also gonna toss in a thermostat and housing down at the lower radiator hose. So we need to get this T-junction out of here and recover that, because that is staying with the truck. So we'll just take this and stick it up here. Way down yonder, I can get to the clamp on the other side of this upper hose. Now this is a factory upper hose unit that's been cut into, so I have to cut my new one in half in order to get the splice in. Yes, sir? How may I be of assistance? Crickets. All right, come here. Come out. And looking to the right, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this hose off the radiator. That way it's not over here kind of dangling around, getting in my way. I almost got slapped in the face with a giant hose. That was close. Cool. Alrighty, next up, let's go ahead and pull this little overflow hose that feeds the surge tank off. We don't need that right now. And I'll pull the retainers off of the 2 trans lines. So once the retainers are gone, I can go in there and get to the clips. We'll pull the trans lines off. Should have hit this with power tools. That'd be done by now. Here, we'll get it with the hook, I think. There we go. Get in behind it, and it breaks up that surface adhesion between the 2 components. Oh, there's oil on everything. It's all like sticky, liquid, lubricated goo. There. Alright, let's get the trans lines off next. I want to try to get the bottom one first, so once I here goes that clip. Aha, I got it. I like to save these so when I lose one, I don't have to order new ones. The new radiator will come with new clips. Anyway, as I was saying, I want to get the bottom one off first. That way I don't have oil dripping on me from the top one.
There is a release tool for these clips, and I have some of them, but I like the pick method best.
Okay, she's free. Right here, let's get you guys out of the way so we can get this thing out. Begin radiator extraction. Oh, fail. And over here, back on the driver's side, there are 2 more metal lines that run to the engine oil pan. These are the oil cooler lines right here, so let's pop those guys out next. We're doing this one, same procedure, larger fittings. That bottom one's tough to see, but you can take my word for it. All right, there's one clip, unclipped. Clip recovery, there it is. There are tools that are designed to release these, but I can also pluck them out with a pick just as easily in most cases. Gotcha. And the one at the bottom. Okay. Let's back up here and get out of the way and pull this radiator out. Dude, it's spilling. Yankees. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's all good. I'll get it. So basically, what? I'm just gonna have you start the tire first. That one was at 22 pounds for the left front. The left front was low. I don't see anything in it, but it was low, which I find odd if they just had it serviced somewhere, because they should have noticed that. You want me to take it apart and see if there's a puncture in it? Oh, all right. Did you order? Are we gonna get her a new cap?
So you want to have me on hold for like 7 minutes.
Hey, what?
Have me on hold for like 7 minutes.
Oh. Okay. All right, come on out. Woohoo! All right, we're still waiting on some parts to show up, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thermostat out next. I was mistaken earlier. I thought this was gonna come with a new housing. It is not. I have to reuse this housing, which is fine because it's made out of aluminum and has no risk of actual leakage or any kind of crackage or anything like that. So let me get this thing out and then we'll pop that T-stat in. There. Oh, it saved 20 minutes. Paid for itself. There's one bolt. You go. Oh, let's put you inside of there. There we go. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Alright, here comes the flow. Oh, or not. Come out. Pry bar. Long pry bar for those hard to reach spaces. There, now we get full cooling system drainage. There's our unit. Oh, this is nice. We got a thermostat which is made out of genuine GM parts. Delco number 131-160. All right. Okay, let's put our seal on there. It slips over the edge here and it's got a little groove on the inside of it, so we have to get the groove around the lip, and it has to be referenced because this notch has to meet the this little bypass hole in it. There we go. And we'll just walk it around. That's what we're looking for. Okay, back to the truck. Let's go ahead and stick that in. No, that's not gonna work. We need to put it in the housing first because the housing has a little notch in it. It meets that little nipple right there. And if we don't line that up, it will leak because it won't seal, because it won't be flush. And then I'll be doing it again, and that would be bad. There's one. We got one started. Mostly, it's halfway started. There we go. Another. This is that bear of a bolt, the lower one. Whoa, there was some more gravity. That wasn't cool. Oh, I'm silly. I'm over here working without lights. Hang on. Surface up the sun action. All right, bottom bolt first. Top bolt next. Bottom bolt third. Click. And some manual clicks, because I can't feel the appropriate torque from up here with that tool at these angles. There we go. And a little bit more on this one. All right. Over here around the side, I have a new radiator. Let's see what we get. Big radiator. Holy smokes. Wow, that's a big radiator. Alright, looking good so far. We've got the trans cooler on that side, and this side should be equipped with the oil cooler. Survey says, yep, we have oil cooler lines. Alright, this one's good. Very nice. And this also is a GM component. Alright, looking good so far. Got the thermostat in. Time to get this radiator dropped down into its new home. All the stuff's out of the way. The mounts are still at the bottom. Those are basically just rubber bushings down there. Those are in place. And the radiator is in its new home. Let's go ahead and get the lower hose in. It's got a new metal clip on it, new plastic, new clamp. It's got some protection so it doesn't rub through. Much better hose than what we pulled out. Whoa! Someone's got the case of the Fridays and it's only Wednesday. Let's see, maneuver that down. Let's see if I can get this guy to maneuver in. It's got to point the right way also. There's some clickage, got it. Let's get our transmission line in. Oh, that was nice. Smooth clickage. And then over here, oh, that's actually a little too long. I might have to trim that. Might. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I will have to shorten that because it's got this, it's got a kink in it right here. That's not gonna work. Can't have a kink in your hose. You won't get the proper flow. You gotta get that thing straight. I mean, they all have a bit of a curve to them, but you gotta get them as straight as possible. So at resting position, it looks like right about there is as far as it should go in. Let's cut this off right here. Yeah, right there. Hose clippage. Let's get our clamp in. This is nice. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna bend that over. That way these can't back off later on. These worm gear clamps have a habit of backing off after a bunch of thermal cycles. And they actually require some maintenance, so I like to take the tab and fold it back over. That way the screw can't turn and they can't back off. But the other problem is they stretch because they're actually pretty cheap. Or if they're in a high moisture environment, they rust and just break off because they are cheapo metal. It's under tension. Bend that over and there we go. Now nothing can come unscrewed. There. All right, let us start maneuvering this shroud back in. Uh-oh. Should be a little easier going in than it was coming out because all that stuff's out of the way. Kind of. Mostly. A large percentage. There we go. Yeah. Get all my hoses out of there. Alright, this is good. Let's get the mounts underneath the radiator. I don't know what that was. It was loud noises. Alright, let's get all the wires and hoses and plumbing, etc. back where it's supposed to go. And then once I know everything's out of the way, we'll set the bolts up and then connect the two sides of the shroud together. Then we can refill this with coolant again and not just water. There we go. And I've got one more mount over here on that side. We'll slip that in real quickly like. If those are not in, that radiator will vibrate and it'll end up rubbing through somewhere and it'll leak. So you've really got to have those things installed. People like to overlook them and that's never good. Alright. Let's get these two halves bolted back together. Remember, there's 3 bolts on this side. We recovered 2 off the other side. There we go. All right, we're getting somewhere now. Our bolts are in. Let's make them click. Socket retention. There we go. All right, shroud's in. Before we get too excited, we need to get down here and install those oil cooler lines. It would not be a good day to forget any of these lines and then we start the vehicle and end up with an Exxon Valdez type of situation. Oh, look at that, that's nasty. I disapprove. Begin clicking. What are you doing? These things are like the absolute worst because they're much larger than the smaller trans lines and they don't well, they require a little bit more force to get them in. And again, they're critical. You get it wrong or get it in like halfway, you're gonna pay for it because it'll come out and then pump all the oil out of the system and blow you up or blow up your engine or blow up someone else's engine. It's even worse. It's worse than blowing up your own engine. Yeah. Come on. There. Sometimes a little bit of a twist will seal the deal. What? You don't know what you're talking about. Alright, that's on there. Alright, both of the little rubber or plastic retainers are on. Those let you know you've got a good seat on your E-clips. I've gone and skipped over it, but I have all the filler tubes reattached, and now it's just time to put the dipsticks back in. Go ahead and close up these holes and get this buttoned up. After that, I'll move over. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and put that upper radiator hose in. Then we'll cut it. Then we'll splice in this little T. Now I'm waiting for some stainless steel hose clamps. We're trying to find some just because I like those better for this specific application. I won't get a set till tomorrow, so this isn't going anywhere just yet. All right. So the way I'm gonna do this is we're gonna go ahead and set the clamp up, and then we'll maneuver this thing down, and I'll clamp it onto the water pump. Then we're gonna see where this thing rests most comfortably, and that's where I'm gonna cut the hose. So it's gonna effectively get cut to fit. And we'll place this one, let's do that temporarily. I don't have a hose clamp for that one just yet. Don't need that. Okay, let's get this guy clamped on. It's deep in there, so I want to do that right now so we don't forget. You know, walk away, get distracted, neglect certain things. That's how you break stuff and cause comebacks on tow trucks. Hose clamps. All right. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to cut away some of this protective little sheathing stuff right here. Yeah, that's gonna have to leave. Think you can get it to slide. Okay. I kind of like this protective layer. I'm sad to see it go. I'm going to be even more sad if I end up cutting through my hose or my finger. All of those would be bad. Okay. I think I'm using the wrong tool. I need one with a handle.
The proper tool is actually scissors, but nobody has scissors.
Looking back, I should have done this before I put this hose on, but not going back now. Just gonna do it the hard way. I like doing things the hard way. Figure if I learn the hard way first, all subsequent methods will only improve. Or that's my toxic trait. One of many. See, I'm still on this journey of discovering life. I have no idea what my toxic traits are. No one ever told me as a child. So I've got to figure it out as an adult. There, get rid of that. And this just went doo-doo-doo. This just went from a car repair video to a psychotherapy repair video real quick. So it looks like we're gonna go ahead and make a cut right here. That's where I want the first cut to be. There, I'll mark it with my finger, there. And we'll come in from the side with our blade. Right about here, says I. Snippage. Cut. Aha. Okay, that's our first one. Now, I can either choose to cut this hose shorter, which I don't think I will. I actually kind of like the way it sits, being extra long, so I'm just gonna put that on, oh, gravity. I'll just put it on just like that, and it should sit a little bit better on top of the shroud. Alrighty, next up is the intake horn. I may be shooting myself in the foot by installing this right now, because it could be blocking me from gaining access to the rest of this stuff, but I think I can work around that. So let me clamp that guy on, and then we're gonna move over here to the left. I've got one more trans line to do, and then I've got the surge tank to mount and to connect. Okay, so far we're looking good. Let's pull our last little plug out, and where's that other line? There it is. Go ahead and plug that guy in. Good solid clickage lets me know it's secure. And of course the little plastic security tab that goes on next. Good. So I'm on hold for now. Let me see where my part's at. All right guys, we got a couple finishing touches here. I got some band clamps for this T-fitting. I didn't want to reuse the worm gear type of clamps because that guy was leaking after all, so I upgraded our clamps to a stainless steel for this one specific spot. I wanted to do all of them, but I couldn't locate enough. These were very hard to find. But I found them, and that's going to work. Begin tightening now. Come on, do it. There we go. Maximum hose clickage. And that one, I'm gonna flip this one because I think I'm gonna have an interference problem. Yeah, this one's gonna go like this. Here, we'll do it this way. You come in here, super tight squeeze, like a bunch of tigers tight. Oh, get in there. There we go. You guys can't see because there's a bunch of stuff in the way here. I'm tightening the clamp without smashing my fingers. Clickage is secure. All right, all the hoses are in. Let us refill the coolant. Do-do-do. Another doodly-doo. All right, so that's our overflow drain for the reservoir slash surge tank. That goes down in a little clip down below. This thing slides into the firewall with those two tabs. It bolts on right down here. And then we've got a couple hoses. There's that one. I routed this hose wrong. I will correct my error. And there's another one you guys can't see. This one right here that goes over to the engine, and it attaches to the side of the radiator over here. Screw that clamp in. Clamp click again. Bolt in our surge tank. Maybe I'll try that with the right socket. There we go. Alright, let's back it up again and we'll get the rest of the air box on. Then we can refill the coolant. It's our mass airflow connector. Critical sensor, we need to have that. There. Sensors clicked. All right, time to refill. Alright folks, engine coolant incoming. This is Shell pre-diluted engine coolant compatible with deck school, if there is any deck school left in this truck. This has so many cooling system repairs, and not because it's junk, just because it's got an extra duty it has to fulfill because of that heated pressure washer assembly in the back. Because of that, it's probably had many cooling system breakdowns in the past. Thus, the original coolant is totally gone. Whoa, gurgling overflow. Yeah, this is uneventful pouring things. Time to start the engine. recheck our oil cooler connections. Those look good. Let's check the trans cooler connections. Again, looking good. All right, everybody's good to go. I need to keep topping this off a little bit. We'll fill that up, and then I gotta hose this thing down. One more. There, now we're good. All right, moments have passed, several of them, and we have achieved near maximum fullness. The thing is up to operating temperature. Everything's looking good so far. I saw the thermostat open because it gulped up a bunch of coolant and I had to add a few more gallons. I have topped off the oil that we spilled. I have topped off the trans fluid that was left in the radiator or that was spilled, so all fluids are at maximum fullness. Let's go over to the car wash station and make this nice and shiny. We'll go ahead and get it parked and get it out of here. Oi. All right. So, airbag light, check engine light, TPMS light, and something about an oil change. We're not going to do that stuff today. We have exhausted the level of repairs we're going to conduct. Maybe they got a guy for their oil changes, I don't know, but we're not going to do that. Or the air filter. We're just going to do the coolant system stuff. So let's back this thing out and go hose it off and get it back to the guys. They need their van back so they can do more work. This is a work van after all. It's actually a rolling cleaning machine encased in a van. Right, beginning engine shiny sequence now. Just gonna wash off all of our residuals, any spillages, coolant, dust, fingerprints, all that unsightly stuff. I choose to leave no evidence. And, oh, and doody-doo, oh God, I'm getting like doodly-doo squared here. Counting 3 lines ringing at once. All right, guys, we're good to go here. I think we're all done. Uh-oh, water's all done. Oh no. But as always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to let me know about that by tapping that like button down below and dropping me a comment or 2 or 14 while you're down there. Those comments and like buttons is what lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job here. And if YouTube thinks I'm doing a good job, it is far more likely to recommend my content to other potential viewers. That's good for me. That's also good for them. Doo-doo-doo. There we go again. So again, as always, thank you for watching. And most importantly, don't forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later.